Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI is conscious, lucid, and stable. But the 95-year-old's condition remains serious, the Vatican said on Thursday. Officials on Wednesday revealed that the retired Pope's health had been deteriorating due to his advancing age. In 2013, Benedict became the first pope to retire from the position in more than 600 years. A Vatican spokesman said that Pope Francis is asking for continued prayers for his predecessor. CBS News foreign correspondent Chris Livesay joins me now from Rome. Chris, what more can you tell us about Benedict's health?
Hi, Lana. Well, as you said, the Vatican says that he was able to get some rest overnight, and today he is lucid and alert, but the situation remains serious. This comes a day after Pope Francis made the announcement in his weekly general audience, asking for prayers because his predecessor was, quote, very sick. And right after his general audience, he went to personally meet with Pope Benedict, and throughout the day and today, once again, Pope Francis has called on the faithful and people around the world to pray for Pope Benedict. As far as the particulars of his condition, the Vatican is being characteristically tight-lipped. However, there are some voices coming out of media outlets like ANSA, that's the Italian news agency. They're saying that he's been suffering from a respiratory illness for several days now. And that's perhaps interesting because ANSA is the same news agency that broke the news of Pope Benedict's retirement, that shocking announcement that he would resign from the papacy back in 2013.
So you mentioned that, and usually, at least for the last 600 years, any pope that has passed on the baton, it was because they had passed away. So what does this mean for Pope Francis? He himself is 86 years old. And do we know anything more about what would happen when Pope Benedict does pass on?
Right. So Francis is 86 years old. That's 1 year older than Pope Benedict was when he decided to resign because of old age and the pressures and the demands of the job, making it impossible or at least too difficult for him to carry out his duties as Pope. Now, when Pope Benedict dies, that does raise some questions about the future of Pope Francis because he's long expressed his own willingness to step down if he finds himself in a similar situation. In fact, he revealed earlier this month that he's already drafted his letter of resignation. He did that back in 2013, the same year that he became Pope. And in that letter, he specifically says that if he's ever incapacitated or rendered incapable of carrying out his duties as Pope, he wants to resign. In other words, he doesn't want to find himself in the same situation that Pope John Paul II found himself in, where we witnessed him for years in deteriorating health as he suffered from a protracted illness. He didn't want to do that, neither did Pope Ratzinger. One thing that Pope Francis also likely didn't want to do was retire while there was already one other retired pope. In other words, he didn't want to have two retired popes here at the Vatican while there was an active pope, a third pope. That would just be unseemly and rather confusing. So the question becomes, if and when Pope Benedict dies, will that open up a space for Pope Francis to retire?
Very interesting. All right, Chris Livesay, we're praying for everyone's health. Thank you.